back to that.
Those chairs are kind of sad.
Yeah, and that new chair.
She said it wasn't a big one. We were planting everywhere.
5 years. Since then, it's probably 4-year-old. I don't know how many chairs in the house in the last 4 years.
Me too. The other issue covered, so I think I'm good. Huh?
You like that, Charlie?
Isn't that awesome?
Houston or something.
It really is.
So, Rick Denning's daughter Sabrina is making.
Tower controller,
Wow.
tower controller.
So, I wish they run. Oh, you kidding? No, I'm serious. I talked to Matt about that. Well, that's worth $10.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
It's how much? I thought they were 15, and that's before the.
Today only, for $10.
Yeah. Cyber Monday, right?
So did you?
We got
Yeah.
the stars and everything.
I'm gonna post you that. Unless somebody else.
Hey, Barrett, how are you, man?
There you go.
Good. I got some firewood yesterday. Dorothy, maybe light a fire while I'm at the house.
Oh, you're not gonna.
I
It's
need to
cold.
cut down some trees.
I got a guy on the Grant Hawk Carrier delivered to you. Pretty good.
This make the chimney. There you go.
Oh, I don't even want to say it was 150 for half.
You're on.
Town of Malabar, regular town council meeting Monday, December 2nd, 2019 at 7:30 shall commence. Please stand for our prayer and pledge.
As we bow our heads to pray, may each of us thank our Creator for the privilege of living and serving our community. We ask for wisdom and guidance in any and all decisions. We also ask for protection of the members of our armed forces. Pray for their safe return and give strength to their loved ones. These we ask in thy name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do a roll call, please.
Council Chair Mayor Patrick T. Riley.
Here.
Vice Chair Steve Burbitt.
Here.
Council members Grant Ball.
Here.
Brian Bale.
Here.
David Scarpino.
Here.
Danny White.
Here.
Did I miss somebody?
Chief.
No. Town manager Matt Stinnett.
Here.
Town attorney Carl Bone.
Here.
I'm the town clerk treasurer Debbie Franklin, and for the record, the fire chief Mike Foley is also present.
Thank you. Is there any additions or deletions or changes to the agenda? I have one. I would like to add 13B, discussion for canceling the December 16th meeting. Thanks. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the regular town council meeting minutes of November 18th, 2019.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried 5-0. Move on to the attorney's report. Move on to the sheriff. We'll move on to committee reports for the Trail and Greenway. I got an email from Drew. He asked me to relay to the council that they're working on firming up some trails. They're putting some matting or something for some areas that need that. And then also they got some new trails and they're creating new signs for the new trails. And he's unable to make it. All right. Park and Rec Board, P&Z. Move on to staff reports. Matt?
I just want to bring up a couple things. FPL has finished their work on the low-hanging wires over on Pat's west of Weber. So we'll get AT&T back out there and they'll do their part. We'll get that ditch cleaned out pretty soon. So pretty exciting there. I also noticed that FDOT has started some work on the Fern Creek, be clearing the fence and some of the trees and stuff there, if you notice that. That's all I got.
Thank you. For Public Works, we got our report handed to us, so that's our public reports. So we'll move on to Fire Chief Floyd.
Good evening, everybody. In the month of November, we ran 62 calls. 27 were EMS calls from November 1st to November 28th. We ran 2 vehicle accidents with injury, 1 vehicle accident without injury, canceled 1 time, 1 power line down, 1 control burn, 28 public assists. It's getting colder. We're going to be helping a lot of people out. So a total of 26. I want to thank everybody for helping out and being out there at the festival. Had a good time. That was great. Also, we put in for 50/50 grant for Firefox nozzles for a brush truck. Let's hope we get those. And we are starting the hydrant testing. So if you see us running around blowing hydrants, that's what we do every year. So we started with that, and also we also start pre-planning. So businesses, you're going to see us show up, and we're going to do pre-planning. Any questions? Perfect. Thank you. Yes.
Debbie?
Okay, just have a couple of things. The Fall Fest, we had a great turnout, and it was a wonderful success, in our opinion, as staff. Everyone that attended, that spoke with us, had positive things to say, and everybody appeared to have a good time. I wanted to publicly acknowledge Kenny of Dolphin Auto and also our own Richard Kohler for their extraordinary efforts to make this year's event a success. It's always been a team effort. We all contribute to make it a success. Denise, Matt, and Dorothy, and our wonderful fire department. Also wanted to thank council for the plaque and the gift basket given to me Saturday in recognition of my 24 years of service to the town. May not live in Malabar, but I serve the town as a Malabarian.
Thanks. All right, move on to public comments. Skip Ard.
Good evening, Skip Ard, 2560 Hardin Lane. I'd like you guys to notice my shirt. It says Malabar Proud, Cave Strong. Now, I first heard the term cave used in a derogatory sense by ex-Councilman Corn. And we are cave strong, so we've turned it around to citizens are very engaged. Anybody would like to have one of these, you can contact Dawn Danielson, and I'm sure she's got something, right?
I have some.
Okay, good. All right, on November 26th, I submitted a FOIA request that stated during the regular town council meeting of 9/9/2019, Councilman Corn stated that he'd been in contact with Councilman Ribbit via phone. Pursuant to Article 1, I am requesting an opportunity to inspect or obtain copies of the transcripts and other public records that deal with all of the contacts and communications between Councilman Corn and Councilman Ribbit for September 8th and 9th, 2019. Now, this morning I received a reply from our keeper of records that there is no public records that deal with your request.
Excuse me, is this allowable? Sure.
From page 22 of the Government of Sunshine Manual, it says email, text messages, and other written communications between board members. Sunshine law requires boards to meet in public. Boards may not take action on or exchange in private discussions of board's business via written communications, emails, text messages, or other electronic communications. And I'd like to ask Mr. Ritter, why did Korn feel it was necessary to contact you multiple times?
My wife is sick, he was inquiring into her condition.
Multiple times?
Yes.
Okay. What was discussed during those phone calls?
My wife's health.
Okay. Thank you very much. Oh, I have a question to the town clerk. Why was this statement by Mr. Korn not included in the minutes of 9/9/2019?
The minutes are summary minutes, Mr. Hart. They're summary minutes.
Okay. And you didn't
It
think,
wasn't an agenda item.
and you didn't think that this was significant enough to make an entry into the minutes?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, thank you.
it's the council that determines
Right.
the content of the minutes. And
When we approve.
correct, so it would be up to the staff to determine what should, and of course, the council's made the most recent determination that the minutes are going to be very small and just very
Correct.
brief, minute, so it's up to the council to make those determinations.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to our first public hearing, ordinance 2019-13, zoning change for Huggins Park, the second reading. Please read by title only.
An ordinance of the Town of Malabar, Brevard County, Florida, administratively amending the zoning map for the 3.4 acre site in section 31, Township 28, Range 38, located in the John J. Pollock subdivision, Malabar, Florida, from institutional to residential RS10, providing for proper classification in order to sell, providing for amendment to the official town zoning map, providing an effective date.
Thank you. Anyone from the public? I'll open up the public hearing. Anyone from the public wish to speak on this agenda item? Public hearing is closed. I'll turn it over to staff. Does staff have any further comments?
Nothing further than what we submitted.
I'll entertain a motion for approval of ordinance 2019-13.
I'll move to approve the ordinance.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I'd like to make a secondary motion if I could. We lightly touched on where the funds from sale of this property would be directed at a meeting a couple of weeks ago. And I feel like if we're selling a park, then the funds should be directed to be used for additional park
Or park enhancement.
improvement or enhancement, or maybe even, I would even allow trails and greenways to get some of it, because that's a big part of our town. And I would ask that it not be in place of historical funds, but in addition to. Am I allowed to make such a motion?
After the first motion.
After the first motion? Okay. So we'll vote on this.
Any further discussion?
Well, my question is, my vote would be contingent on such a thing.
Well,
You can have a second.
I'll revise my motion
Okay.
to,
You can include two. You can do two different motions.
well, and again, either
Well,
the rest of those.
and the first motion.
Yes. Make it.
I'll amend
Thank you.
my motion to include the requirements that you just discussed.
Then I'll second it. Okay.
Well, we have a
We
second.
have
a second.
We already had a second.
Do you agree to the amendment?
I agree.
Okay.
All right, any further discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call vote.
Okay. Councilmember Ball,
Aye.
Councilmember Vale,
Aye.
Councilmember Ribbit,
Aye.
Councilmember Scardino,
Aye.
Councilmember White.
Aye.
Motion carried 5-0.
Thank you. Okay, what I'm about to say goes for 10B, 10C, and 10D. The following are quasi-judicial public hearing. So I need to remind council that the matter before them is a quasi-judicial hearing, and the rules procedures have been adapted governing these proceedings. Anyone testifying before council needs to state their name and address for the record. Any person desiring to present written documentation, photographs, or any documentary evidence must give a copy of the documents to the clerk and may provide council members a copy as well, but give them to the clerk. All ex parte communication of any pre-hearing site visitations must be disclosed. Such disclosure shall include the date of the communication and site visit, whom the communication and the site visit was with, and a summary of communication for the site visit. Is there any disclosures for any of that? All right, first we'll call up the petitioner to the podium. Please state your name and address.
Mr. Chair, do you want to swear them in, or do you just want to? Okay, that's fine.
Typically, we do that at the Board of Adjustment meeting.
Oh, okay.
It's not required,
Okay.
but if the council wants the witnesses to be sworn in, we'll swear them in. It's up to you guys.
Doesn't matter.
Okay, just move on.
Matt? Thank you. Do you want me to get closer?
This is Thomas, 1690 Hall Road, Malabar. All of you are getting a 3-page document from which I will read, and I will also extract some videos to show you the refinements of the ones shown in a previous meeting. So once again, it pains me to have to present this article of misconduct by a council member, but again, for the sake of the town of Malabar, it must be said. I would like you to review the 4 penalty actions at the bottom of the 3rd page of this document and consider them during my presentation. Following are 7 instances of misconduct perpetrated by Councilmember Corn. First one, January 3rd, 2018 meeting. In this video, Corn continuously interrupts both Councilmember Mahoney and Mayor Riley. But I'll just show you the short clip as an example. Please note that this rant got so out of control that a member of the audience had to call up for order. What he violated was the town council's code of conduct. Section 202, paragraph D, I will demonstrate dignity, respect, and courtesy toward those whom I'm in contact with in my capacity as a member of the town council. Clearly, Corn did not demonstrate dignity, respect, nor courtesy toward Mahoney. Additionally, note that his rant was getting so out of control that a member of the audience had to ask for order. Okay? Next one. Same meeting, a little farther down, Corn interrupts Mahoney again.
Ms. Gambino, you left early, anything I personally do
Oops, sorry.
have feelings for people that have just terrible problems. Ms. Gambino, you left early, anything I personally do have feelings for people that have
I'm going to start this over.
terrible property problems. And I think Ms. Gambino, you left early, anything I personally do have feelings for people that have just
respectful courtesy. Okay? So moving on to the third episode.
It's gone.
Sorry about that, folks. Okay. In this next video, Warren will say some citizens are anarchists. Mayor Riley has tried stopping twice with a stop motion that says it's her time. So let's get into the video and you can read along with what I've given you here.
Or happens to not just be social media, it happens to be the citizens of our town. And we should be listening to them.
You're citizens of our town.
And I'd like to, especially in that, well, it speaks to some of us, that you should.
Or some of them that are anarchists. And you don't understand the word, I'll explain it to you. People that don't want it.
Each and every single person is very
I'm not
important.
disgusted with some of the people in this town.
All right, and I also
So, again, Mayor Riley tries to stop him twice, the stop motion says her time, blah, blah, blah. He won't discuss this with some of the people, and Mayor Riley puts his hand up in the stop motion for the third time. So, per the town council code of conduct, section 202, paragraph I will respect diversity and encourage the open expression of divergent ideas and opinions from fellow members of town council, town administrator, town attorney, staff, citizens of the town, members of the public, vendors, those who do business with the town. I will listen actively and objectively to others' concerns or constructive criticisms. The preceding video shows Warren's absolute disrespect for any divergent ideas, and he stated that he refuses to discuss divergent ideas with some people in this town. Now, in this next video, he will say, I'm sorry, that there are anarchists that want to destroy this town.
I'm sorry, but I am tired of people finding fault with this town rather than commending that this is a good town of good people, and just those who want to be anarchists are the ones that you're talking about next door and other places that are just making a lot of noise and trying to destroy this town.
That's not
And don't-
true.
no, that is true.
Okay. Definition of anarchy.
Paper.
Absence of government, a state of lawlessness or political disorder due to the absence of governmental authority. Clearly, Horn is applying anarchy to the diversity of ideas he has sworn to respect per the oath of office, and his allegation that these individuals want to destroy the town is wholly without basis and is utterly slanderous. Definition of slander: the utterance of false charges or misrepresentations which defame and damage another's reputation. Definition of disparaging: meant to belittle the value or importance of someone or something. Horn's remarks are clearly disparaging to both Councilwoman Mahoney and town residents. Next video. We're going to hear Horn say, describing tacky petty game playing.
Then I just wanted to be careful. I'll let her do the same. Accepting the responsibility for anything I say at all. Then I told her to be careful to do it right. And I never saw those followers of those families who they arrived at my mailbox, and yours, and everybody else's. It was
that are malicious, threatening, slanderous, or disparaging. So, moving on to the next one.
Back up.
Why, you were the one that started this, Dick.
No, what I started was that you filed 2 years ago, you filed a lie for your financial statements and you didn't spend a dime. That was the statement you turned to me, and I got that from the state too. Your man should not go to office getting the money.
But we could have talked about it and done it right together. You, I did not lie.
Yes, you did lie. Yeah, it's just a state, that's number 10. Where you're at. Okay. All right, we'll move on.
Here the mayor had to warn Corn twice, 3 strikes are out. He's calling Councilman Mahoney a liar. So, once again, code of conduct, paragraph D, I will demonstrate dignity, respect, and courtesy towards those whom I am in contact with in my capacity as a member of the town council. Again, Corn repeatedly shows blatant disrespect for Mahoney by interrupting, talking over her, yelling at her while she has the floor. Okay? And now to the 7th. Well, once again, code of conduct, paragraph 202, paragraph D, I will demonstrate dignity, respect, and courtesy to those whom I am in contact with in my capacity as a member of the town council. The total lack of decorum and courtesy toward the town citizen is apparent in the preceding video. He's actively mean-spirited, disparaging, and abusive, and totally disrespectful. So, these videos clearly show that Corn should be censored and judged unfit for any office of the town of Malabar. We've only shown this evening a portion of Corn's misdeeds, and should the council be interested, we can provide more at a later date. We've now given you 7 instances of Corn's misconduct, and I hereby insist that the council respect its own code of conduct penalty phase by implementing all 4 of these penalties as listed in the code per the document that I gave you. With that said, thank you for your time.
All right, I'll move on to the public. Anyone from the public wish to speak on this matter? Please come up, state your name and address for the record.
Skip Hard, 2560 Hard Lane. Sitting there watching this is very, very embarrassing to the town of Malabar. Man who has served 6 years on this council. What did you guys do to police yourselves? Why make a citizen file a complaint against you guys? That's all I've got to say.
Anyone else from the public? Please state your name and address for the record.
Don Danielson, Hall Road. I was very upset to watch the expression on your faces while my husband was speaking. A lot of you were looking down and looking away. I don't know if because you intend not to do anything about this, or whether it was because of your total disinterest. but I beg you tonight to finish this hearing by doing the right thing. And that is proceeding with the penalty phases of the code of conduct that you all brought into effect. Just a mere 2 years ago, I believe it was. It was obviously put in effect for a reason, and I now ask you to follow that rationale and do your job. Thank you.
Very good.
Anyone else from the public?
Damn shame, Corn didn't do it.
Laura Mahoney, 2475 Malabar Road. Most of the incidences were obviously directed towards me, but I really believe this is where it's less about me, but the residents, there used to be a lot of volunteers. There was a lot of volunteers in this town, and you pushed council, you have pushed residents away. How many people ran in this last election? It's a reflection on you by not being kind to the citizens and respecting the citizens. The citizens are who you're supposed to be serving, not yourselves. Thank you.
Very good.
Anyone else? Thank you. All right, does staff have any comments? I'll close the public hearing. If you make a motion, you are expected to support the motion. This does not apply to the person who seconds a motion. So I get a motion from council. Agenda item dies for lack of motion.
God.
Under the rug. Under the rug.
We'll move on to
I'm leaving.
10C, complaint from Jose Marino on code of conduct violation committed by Dick Corn.
Jose Marino, 1720 Benjamin Road.
No, they didn't do a damn thing with what he put out.
Quiet in the crowd, please.
I have to concur with everything that has been said here tonight. I happen to be the one who recorded everything that was presented, and a lot more that was not presented. And it's a shame that we have turned this nice little town into a zoo, where the board don't show any respect, and when you have a clown like Mr. Dick Corn here, you all support him instead of taking care of business. Thank you.
All right, anyone from the public wish to speak? Any staff, any questions, or any comments? All right, public hearing is closed. I'll entertain a motion. Agenda item dies for lack of motion. We'll move on to complaint from William Hard on the code of conduct violation committed by C.M. Danny White. Applicant, please come to the podium. Right. Staff have any comments?
I don't know, he went outside, I don't know if he left.
He left. He left. He figured it wasn't worth his time.
Well, we still have the
Wait, we're going to
file, right, and so we still need to proceed on the complaint that's filed.
Right. I'll open up public for any comments. Please come up, state your name and address for the record.
Barbara Cameron, I live on Hall Road.
Into the microphone.
Barbara Cameron, I live on Hall Road, 665 Hall Road. I'm thoroughly confused with the town council right now that there are no motions being made. I mean, this is our town council. So I did hear someone say that Mr. Dick could not be run again for public office, you know, and I'm really confused why the town council has not at least made an amendment on that. And I was asked by a few people if I would run for my district to be on the town council, and I very, very honestly said, I couldn't take it. I saw how Laura was treated, and I said, I seriously couldn't not run for town council in Malabar, even though I've owned property here since 1974. You know, I couldn't run for town council because I couldn't take that kind of abuse. So, you know, I don't know if you should make a motion that people that do not respect the citizens should not run for public office, or what, but you guys should do something. I mean, just anything, instead of just blow it off, like nothing ever happened, you know, and it just doesn't make any sense. And that's all I need to say. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just got that anything?
The only thing that I would have on this one is that when it comes time to vote, Ms. White, you should restrain from voting on this. Sure. Okay, if there's a motion made, we'll have to file the appropriate, you know, paperwork for the clerk. So basically, you're going to proceed on the complaint that was filed. And how you want to handle that is your prerogative.
All right, public hearing is closed. I'll entertain a motion. Agenda item dies due to lack of motion. All right, we'll move on to Mr. Lane, so I guess you can go now.
I think maybe we want to consider asking him to stay while we talk about the.
You were so close. I expected it.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll move on to the impact fees for Malabar. David, you got the floor.
What I had in mind, I'm new here, but what I noticed is that we don't charge impact fees when people build things here. That every place we get, I go in South Florida, I go wherever I'm a builder, and I build things, and I pay fees for impacting the environment. Well, I've listened to the constituents here.
Did I address the council?
I've listened to the constituents here, and what they're concerned about is the environment, the drainage, the roads, and things like that. Well, there's not a lot of money to do the improvements that appear to be needed. So anytime you build something, a development, there's an impact to the environment here. There's an impact to the community. So the people who come from outside the community should be paying, just like the other communities charge, we should be charging also. So I think we should start researching, you know, what other communities are charging and how we can implement a program to do this. So, anybody have any?
It's been brought up by Dick Coleman, brought it up, and we've talked about it at a couple of workshops. So Steve, then Brent.
Yeah,
What happened with it?
well, we basically said, yeah, it's something we need to consider, and we haven't done a lot since then. I think what you're saying makes sense. You know, the development causes the need for infrastructure improvements as well as it causes environmental impact. So philosophically, I think I'm the same thing, that development should pay for itself, and impact fees are the way to make that happen. So I would ask, what would be the next step if we were going to actually look at implementing something?
Figure out what categories of impact fees you want. Impact fees range all over the place, from municipality to municipality, county to county. Just one thing I want to remind everyone is that, you know, impact fees aren't for maintenance. Okay? Impact fees are, and I did a and you might have already, you know, what does the impact of the new development have on a particular thing? I've seen impact fees for public buildings. You know, the new development is going to impact the public building facility, meaning that more people are going to come in and more, you know, staff's going to have more time to do things. So that's a category. You know, it could lead to funding a new town hall impact fees. We have a stormwater utility. I'd have to research whether or not we could do an additional impact fee on the stormwater utility or not, because, you know, the way I see our stormwater problems, it's a maintenance problem in the town. I don't know, we probably do need additional stormwater facilities somewhere, so we have to determine what impact that new development will have in order to justify increasing, you know, the stormwater facilities that we have. You know, roads, you know, there's a lot of things that can be done with impact fees. But once you get that category down, you're gonna have to get a study done.
Yeah, we're gonna have to justify it.
That's where the.
Well, let's
Yeah,
propose
here's-
doing a study.
Here's my thing with impact fees. There's a couple things going on. First off, I think it's involved enough that we need a workshop to discuss it. We're not gonna do it at a council meeting with a couple ideas we're gonna go over. Secondly, the impact fees have to be addressed, just the impact. Two things I don't wanna have happen. One of them, I don't want citizens that already live in the town to be paying for new people to move into the town. Therefore, the impact fee. But I don't want to see an impact fee that discourages people from moving into the town because of the price of the impact fee. You know, it should be something that just covers what impact they're gonna have to the town. Nothing beyond their impact. But, and you talk about stormwater, well, yes, they're gonna create more, so maybe there is some impact to that, whether we've already got that covered, but you're right. They shouldn't be paying for the maintenance of the roads and stuff like that we have neglected to do.
I want to clarify something. It's not when somebody moves in, they got to charge an impact fee. It's new development, new
Right,
construction.
development.
Okay. So I just want to
That's
make
what
sure.
you meant.
I know about that.
I think that when we talked about this before, it was explained to me that the impact fee for a town that doesn't have utilities, such as water and sewer, is difficult to do. The people that, and I bought here, I did not build, so I don't know how much of an impact fee Brevard County assesses, but I think they do. Am I correct, Dave?
They'll carry it as impact.
Okay, but I mean, if somebody builds here in Malabar, they still pay an impact fee to Brevard County,
Correct.
not to us.
Correct.
Okay, and that impact fee can go for, I think there's one for the public library.
Library.
Okay, for their roads and utilities that we don't have or have advantage of.
The school has an impact fee.
Right, and so that was the main reason, Dave, this was kind of shelved back then, because we didn't see where we could actually use an impact fee for roads and ditches, okay? This is the first I've heard of a community center, which would be great, you know?
I think we are running utility, if we're maintaining the ditches, and we're supposed to have the drainage drain away from the properties, it is a utility.
Well, that would be a good argument,
I'm
okay?
sorry, it is utility.
And I'm for
It's
that.
not being maintained, you know. If you add extra capacity, we have more water going into there. Anytime you build something, there's going to be more water going into there.
Absolutely, and that's why I see, you know, people that say, well, my property never flooded 20 years ago. Well, there's been a lot of new homes built in 20 years, and it's a lot of impermeable surface. So, yeah, I agree with you. It seems very simple that improving our drainage is something that new construction impacts directly, okay? And the roads would be the other thing, okay?
Which, I'll say, for the roads, the county does collect the impact fees, and then we have access to them to use them, so there's a committee.
And you and I have had discussions about this, that we may be possibly able to use some of that to pave lanes.
Yes.
Whereas before I was told, no, you couldn't do that. It had to go to collector roads or nothing else.
Yeah, the county has said that using it to pave lanes is an acceptable use.
I would love to investigate that. So,
As memory serves me, and Matt can correct me on this,
had to do studies, the cost of doing the studies relative to the potential income, where are we at? Okay, if we have to, we have to pay an outside vendor, an outside agency to do the study, because I don't think this is a study that we can do in-house.
No, the reason for the study is if it gets challenged, you have a basis for it. I mean, I honestly, I don't think we have the ability to do it in-house.
Because some of the studies that we've done on different things weren't able to be done in-house, but as memory serves, if it's an impact fee, you have to use an outside.
You should use
a
an
third
outside
party.
consultant because you have to have the proportionality there. You know, how much do you break it up? You know, what's the impact on a particular?
See, we kind
Well,
of need to see.
there's also surrounding towns that are similar to ours, that have impact fees, like Grand Valcarria. has
Exactly,
impact
that's,
fees. So you don't have to
I was just
reinvest
gonna say, we need to research.
you can go to Grand Valcarria and see what their study looked like.
We see what they paid for a study relative to their income, you know, from that impact fee. I mean, because it really has to be profitable, because if you spend, studies can be relatively affordable and studies can be extremely expensive.
I don't think this is an extremely expensive study, but it's not.
Well, but that would be,
There's also the possibility that their study may apply to us. I don't know how generic it is.
Or similar.
yeah, we feel very similar in
Right.
population.
The only impact fees that I'm aware of that Grant Valcarria has are the same that we have. The county imposes impact fees on new construction in Brevard County. The transportation portion of that impact fee is pretty significant, but those funds are captured by the county and set aside, and then we can petition for the use of them if we have a project that, you know, meets the criteria. Grant Valcarria is in the same transportation impact that we are. Grant Valcarria, Malabar, and West Melbourne are all in the same.
I think it's definitely something we need to research.
Well, and we have done, staff has done this since that, and it is the study that is the part that's slowing us down, because it has to be done by an outside consultant. It has to stand up in court, it has to be defendable, and it has to be able to pass that test that Carl was just referring to. So it has to be unique to Malabar's situation, whatever that is. The impact fee per new resident, the impact fee per new commercial structure, because those would be different values, and how it would be assessed then. So that's the expensive part, but we need direction from council to move to that next step, because not only will it be costly, but, you know, it's gonna be time consuming.
Could we get, per se, an estimate from an outside vendor as to how much a study would cost, just to, you know?
Well, all right, you could, here's the problem with that. What's our spending limit without going to bid?
I think it's 10,000.
Okay, so let's assume that vendor says, I give an estimate, cost you 15, we're gonna go out for bid. That may disqualify that vendor. Because, you know, they already have a leg up and have a number, you know what I'm saying? So we may have to go out and get 3 different bids.
Well, I'm sure we could get,
Well, I mean,
some vendors from Brevard County on consultants.
We can also inquire, I mean, I'm just trying to think who's done impact, well, Palm Bay.
Titusville has,
Palm Bay's
City of
gone through
Melbourne,
proportionate to
Cape
us.
Canaveral, they've all done impact fee studies.
We can just see what they want.
We have some beachside communities that are relatively the same population, and a little smaller land area, but somewhere
I
in
mean, it's something to, I don't wanna go to a particular vendor and say how much. That may disqualify the vendor if we have to go out for bid. So we can get an idea by looking at another
that has
city's-
already done it.
Correct, and say, okay, you know, they may have.
It's public information.
Sure, absolutely.
I think if we could find out what Grant Valcarria did, and I still want to see it brought to a workshop, so we can discuss just that item instead of bringing it up here, because I don't think we spend the time on it that we need to in this format.
But I think Brian's point is a good one, that we would have to take a look and say, how long would we want this to take to pay for itself? You know, and so we take a look at maybe 5 years of new construction here, apply what our target impact fee would be, and say,
See
would
if
that
it's
pay
feasible.
for a feasible
Absolutely.
study?
If
You know,
not, then it's probably not.
right,
Yeah,
and
not
if
worth
not, then, you know, already when you have new construction, these people, even the ones that aren't new construction, the people that buy recently like I did, they're paying a significant higher taxable value on their property than old property, you know.
Yes,
So they're
you're already-
contributing significantly
Yeah.
just by moving here. you know.
Because somebody that was locked into the amount of tax they were paying, the house now gets appraised for what would be fair market, so your ad valorem would be increased.
See, if the study's gonna be fairly expensive for the size of what we're talking about, now we're penalizing people, because they have to pay for the study. And I'm
I
not-
think people are gonna move here regardless of whether we have impact fees or not. The area is popular enough that eventually this will develop, go be development area. And just the model across Florida, people are using impact fees too.
Just for instance, Debbie, or Matt, ballpark on, in the last year, new home construction, how many? 20, 30?
40 probably, the last 2 years.
Okay, in the last 2
40 in
years.
each year.
Okay, 40 in each year, so that'll kind of give you a bit of information there as to if that trend continues and it's potentially going to increase, it's real estate and growth and, new construction, it's up and it's down.
So I guess homework, we could come up with a list of, or research what impact fees are used for. You know, what legally what they could be used for, so that's something
Because
we could do independently.
Well, yeah, when we had this workshop prior, we provided you with what other cities were collecting on various impact fees.
We have
Like
that.
Palm Shores collects a Parks and Recreation impact fee, and they collect a new infrastructure. And that's both for residential and for commercial development. I think I provided you with what Melbourne does. And these are like over and above what the county does. Now, Melbourne, Cape Canaveral, and Titusville all do their own transportation impact fee so that the county doesn't apply within their jurisdiction. So you're not paying two transportation impact fees. You're paying one and you're paying it to the city in those particular cities. You don't know what Palm Bay does.
just for information, what's the average, out of those 40 homes, what would you guess to be an average impact fee? Is it based on construction cost or 5,000?
Impact fee is based on what the impact of the
Okay,
new
so it
development
doesn't
is. That's what
matter.
the study has to
Has
show.
nothing to do with the
So
value
it
of the
could be
home.
a $200,000 home or a $500,000.
And still, what is it current?
We have no impact.
No, not at the county.
For
Oh,
roads, I think
it's-
it's
it's
$4,900.
flat.
About $5 grand,
for a
right?
single-family home.
No, it's closer to 10 grand total.
Well, when you put all of the impact fees
Yes.
together, for road impact, it's like $4,900.
Right.
There's,
4,000 for education.
yeah, schools.
So it's about 10 grand to, if you decide to buy a piece of property and build a new house, you're looking at 10 grand right from the get-go. So that also more information to consider.
But that's what every other new residence is paying in Brevard County and whatever that particular city has over and above that. So if you build a house in Palm Shores, you're gonna pay that 10 grand, and then you're gonna pay them the park and recreation impact fee and a new infrastructure impact.
They don't have an ad valorem tax.
Well, true enough, but it's
No,
still
I'm just saying, so, yeah.
significant impact for
There's- yeah,
new
significant,
development.
Pay me now.
Correct.
All right. Thank you.
Where do you wanna schedule a workshop?
Yeah, let's have a timetable.
January, late January, give us some time to put some information together for you after the
The last
holidays.
the last Monday in June.
Okay.
Move on to public comments. Laura Mahoney, please state your name and address for the record. Huh? Oh, you can start. Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Laura Mahoney, 2475 Malabar Road. I just want to bring up unintended consequences, ordinances, and public involvement. Kind of getting the feeling that you're really not interested in public at all, but council, thank you for taking the time to listen. Please take this into consideration and advisement. Our town is supposed to be run by a strong council. And often the ordinances are on the council agendas and with staff recommendations are put on the agenda before council has discussed the possibility of such an ordinance of any kind. And then there, at the council meeting, there is a discussion and vote. Is this really council-led? If the ordinance is introduced by staff and recommended by staff, or is there a specific council member who is leading these ordinances since staff claims to be council-led? For public involvement and friendly relations, please consider stopping this form of hasty government decisions. Please be inviting to your community, involving them, and being less hasty, which puts our community on the defensive. The Code of Conduct ordinance was done this way, and as there is already a state requirement for all elected officials, and as you have proven not to be proactive in maintaining the conduct of your elected officials, I can only surmise this was put into place to remove elected officials of your choice, of which the town attorney pointed out is not lawful. I insist you remove the frivolous ordinance and the requirement that planning and zoning as well as council members are forced to sign this. It would be prudent for council to begin reviewing the many ordinances and removing unnecessary and repetitive ordinances, as well as a review as to some of the unintended consequences of some of the ordinances we already have. Regards, Laura Mahoney. Thank you.
Move on to Don Anderson.
Don Hanson, Hall Road. I'm very disappointed in you gentlemen. You passed the Code of Conduct ordinance, which you now tonight refused to follow. I would strongly suggest you repeal both, I believe it's 2017-06 for council and 07 for committees. If we have ordinances that you draft that you won't even follow, they should be taken off the books. Mr. Ribbit, as my councilman, I would like you to draft an ordinance repealing the Code of Conduct ordinances that this council passed and now refuses to participate in.
I'll take that under consideration.
I would really appreciate it if that's done in time for at least 2 meetings from today. It's just absolutely abhorrent that you gentlemen passed a Code of Conduct and now refuse to follow it. I don't understand your reasoning.
Good old boy.
Pardon me?
Good old boy.
It's time that you start reaching out and making friends with the citizens of this town, because your behavior is getting beyond tolerable. And yes, Danny, I'm speaking to you too.
I'm listening to you.
Thank you. I appreciate your attention tonight. That's a
Very
real
good.
new feeling for me. But do you gentlemen understand what it is I'm saying? You have refused to follow the Code of Conduct penalty phase. So what is the point in even having it? I ask sincerely that you withdraw it, both for you and for all the committees that are required to sign it. Thank you very much.
And I'm sorry, I have no idea what the name is.
Susan Shortland.
And, please come up, state your name and address for the record.
Name is Susan Shortland, and my address is 2240 Aggie Lane, and I'm sorry if I cried.
I was a victim of domestic abuse, a battered wife. I have post-traumatic stress disorder from this. And what I saw here tonight was unbelievable. There was emotional abuse and physical abuse, and you men sat here and did nothing. I hope to God when you go home and look at your wives and daughters and significant others, that you remember what you did here, because there is no excuse for this. There is no way that you men should have sat here and condoned not only an attack on a citizen by a council member in his official capacity, or the treatment of Laura Mahoney when she was on council. This is sex discrimination. This is emotional and physical abuse. And I really hope that you see your way clear to doing something about your attitudes, because it's attitudes like this that brought me to where I am today. My face was completely rearranged. I had broken bones. It was fine with the courts in Alabama because women were not an entity at the time. You're perpetuating this, and when it happens to your wives, or your mothers, or your daughters, and somebody thinks it's cute, or somebody won't break the code of conduct that is in place, it's a very terrible thing, and it takes a terrible toll. And I hope every one of you thinks about what you did tonight. Some of you are experts in the building industry, and some of you are real estate experts, and some of you grew up in restaurants, all places where women have a place, but women fought hard to rise above menial jobs. I know I did landscape for years, and a woman boss was something abhorrent to a lot of the men. It's still that way. But it's attitudes where people band together and protect one of their own from consequences that are justified. Dick Corn is a Methodist minister. I approached him and said, Dick, if you would just apologize. All you have to do is apologize to the council and the citizens of Malabar at a meeting, and Dawn, and say, I shouldn't have gotten carried away. I got carried away. I'm sorry. That would have been the end of this. And he was very sure that you men would all stand behind him and not pursue this and not let it go anywhere. Mayor Riley said to me at the time that it was a dead issue. I don't know what you're afraid of. I don't know why you didn't censor Dick Corn. It should not have come to this point. When that paper got thrown, it should have immediately been addressed. That's ridiculous. I hadn't seen the clips of him screaming at Laura. I have been here when he screamed out before. I don't know if it's just Dick or if it's, I don't know why that has been tolerated as long as it has. If it was a paid position in a company, he would be under the jail. I just cannot believe that you chose to do this. My faith in Malabar tonight was really shaken. You're a talented group of men. You come together with our permission. We expect more out of you than this. Thank you.
I have is I'd like to thank everyone for helping with the successful Malabar Family Fest. It was well attended by cars and people, and appreciate all the hard work. Go ahead.
We added an item to the agenda.
Oh, that's right, I'm sorry. I missed that, I crossed it off. Council, canceling December 16th meetings. We usually cancel the meeting before Christmas if there's nothing hot, so.
I've got nothing coming in. And I don't believe there's anything coming out of P and Z that would be on that agenda.
I'll make a motion that we cancel it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Sorry, who made the second?
Brian did.
And the vote was all.
Yes.
All right, so that's all I had, so, objection, meeting adjourned. Oh, wait, Debbie, when's the party Thursday?
Oh, tree lighting this Thursday at 6 o'clock. Is that the Christmas party? Tree lighting, at the front of the fire station. Usually the Saturday after Thanksgiving, Saturday after